and welcome to Crafts with Ash DIY and Decor. My name's Ashley and today I am so excited to bring you some super cute gingerbread kitchen DIYs for Christmas. I am doing the kitchen in a gingerbread theme this year, but I have 0 gingerbread items, so I thought that I would just create some. Before we get started, if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on the bell so you're notified about all notifications. And don't forget to click all on the drop-down menu. I have a variety of different videos that I have posted in the past and I'm going to post coming up, and I know you don't want to miss it. All right, let's get started with these cute gingerbread DIYs. This first DIY is so easy and so fun to make, and it only cost $1. So I picked up this pizza pan from the Dollar Tree, and I figure since this is kitchen decor, a pizza pan would fit right in. So what I did first was actually sand it down lightly just so the paint would stick better to the pan. And then I gave this 3 coats of my apple barrel nutmeg paint. Now throughout this whole video, that is the paint I will be using because I think that it is the perfect color for painting gingerbread men or women. So after my pan was dry, I just took something round and I'm tracing 2 eyes on my little gingerbread girl. And then I'm going to draw a little oval nose and then a little smile. Now I am looking at a picture. I am not good at freehanding faces or anything for that matter. And I am such a visual person that I did have to look at a picture while doing this. But even so, I thought it turned out so cute. But if you need a little help drawing faces or anything, just go on Pinterest, Google, anything to help you find a guide. So once I had my template all drawn on, I took some black paint and I'm going to go ahead and paint in her eyes. And you can see there I did start off with a black paint pen, but I quickly realized that was going to take me forever to color in. So I opted to go with the black paint instead. And I do end up giving the eyes 2 coats. After that, I used some crimson chalk paint from Waverly, and I'm going to paint in her little nose. So you're going to have to let me know down in the comments, do you theme your rooms in your house, or you just kind of put up any decor anywhere? I am so excited to do like a gingerbread theme. I've never had like a theme in a specific room, so I am so excited to narrow it down and just so that way there's lots to look at in the house. All right, next I took a paint pen and I just drew on her little mouth. After that, I mixed some red and white paint to create pink. Then using this round little stencil brush, I'm just going to dab, dab, dab in some little cheeks. Then going back to the paint pen, I'm going to draw in some cute little eyelashes. Look how adorable she is. And then I'm going to take some white puffy paint and I'm going to make a little twinkle in her eye and give her eyes some detail. And then I decided to take my red puffy paint and go over her nose. Now, all of my puffy paint bottles today came from Walmart. They were super affordable. You'll notice that I did get the big bottle of the white because I figure with all the gingerbread decor, I'll probably need a big one. So, but these little smaller ones work great too. So now I'm going to take my white puffy paint and I'm going to outline the perimeter of her face to give her that gingerbread detail. Like I said, I thought this came out super cute. Of course, I'm not the first one to do this. I did see this idea somewhere. I honestly don't remember, but I just wanted to do my little take on it. So now I'm going to give her a little tongue. So I'm just using my crimson chalk paint to do that, to paint that in. All right, now it's time to make her a little bow. So I took this sparkly glitter ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree, and basically I made it into one big loop, putting the ends together, and then I just squished it down. And now to tie it in the middle, I'm going to take this baker's twine and just wrap it around and tie it And then I'm ready to glue our little bow onto the pizza pan. All right, so using some hot glue, although I would probably suggest adding some super glue in there too, I'm just going to hot glue it at an angle at the top of her little head. And look how cute she is. Now to add just a little bit more detail, I'm gonna take a kind of wild bristled brush and dip it in some white paint, and then I'm just taking something and just basically tapping on the brush. I'm going to give her some little paint dots. Now you're going to see this paint dot theme throughout the entire video because I want all of my decor to be cohesive and matching, and also I just think that it adds so much detail. So I love this little trick here. Now, this is why I say you really want a wild bristled brush, because that first one that I was using was not great. But after all my paint dots were on, she is finished. You can either display this standing up or add a hanger. It doesn't matter because it's so cute. What do you think? For my next DIY, I'm going to use this little gingerbread man wood cutout that I got from the Dollar Tree. And the first thing I'm going to do is use some of that Dollar Tree spackling to color or to fill in that hole because I'm not going to need it. Then I'm going to sand that down, and then I'm going to start painting this entire thing with the nutmeg apple barrel paint. Now I'm not going to paint his bow or the buttons. I actually pop off but keep them close because we will use them again. And then I'm also not going to paint the little detailed little pieces on his arms and legs. But other than that, I'm going to paint the whole thing. And I did give it several coats. After that was dry, I went back with some white chalk paint, and now I'm going to paint the little pieces on his arms and legs. And then I'm going to take my red chalk paint and I'm going to paint in his little bow tie. Okay, next I'm going to take that white puffy paint, and again, I'm just going to give him that outlining around his head. And then I'm also going to go and give some squiggly lines to the details on his arms and legs as well. I loved using puffy paint. It's been so long since I actually used puffy paint. It's so funny. I don't know. My mom used to put it on everything, and so we used to use it a lot, and I have not used it in a long time, but it was fun to play with puffy paint again. All right, now we're going to draw his face, so I'm just going to do a simple design because, again, I'm not great at it, so I just drew 2 eyes and a wavy little smile. And then I'm going to mix that paint again, the pink paint, and give him some little rosy cheeks. Now, I opted not to do a nose on this one. Then I'm going to give him a twinkle in his eye. All right, now I lost some footage, but I did do the paint dots on this as well. So after that was all dry, I hot glued on the buttons, and I also hot glued one onto his bow tie. Now this one only came with 3. I must have popped some other buttons off of something else, so you might have to add something else to the bow tie if you want. Then I painted 2 of the buttons green, and then I'll paint the button in his bow tie white and the other button red. All right, now we're done with the gingerbread man part. So now we're gonna make a base. So I had this little sign that I got from the Dollar Tree around Halloween time, and you can see that I had started painting over it. This was for a different DIY that I never ended up finishing. So I'm gonna use this. Now I needed to cut it in half. So all I did was measure it and mark where half is, and then I'm just gonna take my utility knife and I'm simply just going to cut it, and look how easily it cut. So I'm just cutting it right off. And you can pop that little hanger piece right there. Look how easily that popped right off. And then I'm just going to cut it down. Now, also what you want to do is you want to take the end off of the side that you're not using, because we're going to need that to glue on the piece of the box that we are using. That way it makes an enclosure. That way it finishes off the box, all four sides. So I'm just going to simply hot glue that side on the box. And I did have to sand down what I cut off to make that fit. It still was not a perfect fit, but that's okay. I'm going to hide that. So after my box was all put together, I'm going to give this a couple coats of white Waverly chalk paint. Now I am kind of ripping off the paper as well, and underneath it's revealing some white paper, I guess. So that was easier for me to paint over. So on the sides where there's the skulls, I did have to give it numerous coats so it's completely covered. So I just went ahead and painted this all up. Okay, so after my box was all dry, I actually cut off a decal from my Cricut, but I lost the footage of me actually applying it, but it says Baking Spirits Bright. So what I did, it's in red vinyl, but I did go ahead and kind of lightly brush over it with some white chalk paint to kind of dull down the red. Now I'm going to take this red and white baker's twine and I'm going to hot glue it all the way around the edges of my box on the top at first, and then I will go on the front. Now, if you don't have a Cricut, that's okay. You can use sticker letters, you can use rub-on transfers, you can print something out on the printer and Mod Podge it on, you can handwrite it, you can use stencils. There's so many options to using, or alternatives to using a Cricut. Okay, so next I'm going to take these two wooden blocks that I got and I'm going to hot glue them to the back of his little legs, because this is going to give him lots of support, because we're going to hot glue him to the top of our little box. So now I'm going to take this strand of green lights that I got from the Dollar Tree, and they are battery operated, and I am just basically wrapping it around him, kind of like he got tangled in the lights. Hence the phrase Baking Spirits Bright. So like I said, I'm just tangling him in the lights. Okay, so after I had my lights on how I liked, I'm going to take the battery pack and I'm going to hot glue it to the back of the box. Of course, you want to make sure that the screw is facing out. And then I'm going to add some of that baker's twine to the front of the box. And I think that that added the perfect final touch for this cute little project. I don't know if you caught it, but the other day I actually uploaded a video of 3 light up Christmas DIYs. So if you love this, you're going to love those other ones. I'll definitely have it linked to the end of this video and in my description box below. So after you're done watching this, definitely head over there to catch that. So after that was glued down, this little Baking Spirits Bright gingerbread man is complete. And I think he is so cool. What do you think? Okay, so real quick, I just want to take this opportunity to talk about the sponsor of this video today. NASM sent us a cordless leaf blower, and let me tell you guys, when we opened this up, the power on this was great. So come with me as we check it out. Okay, so we were sent this NASM cordless leaf blower in the mail, and we were asked to review it. So my husband is opening it right now. So we're gonna go ahead and unbox it and take it out and see what it is. We obviously are opening it for the first time with all of you. And curious dogs. All right, what is that box?
I'm gonna check it out in 1 second. It's either the charger or the batteries, I assume. There's 2 boxes. Here's your instructions.
Okay.
Here's
Whoa.
Okay, so let's check this big dog out.
Let's see.
Oopsie.
Throwing stuff
I
at
believe
me.
that's the tip.
Okay.
And
That looks huge.
so basically,
Okay.
I can already tell. You slide it in here and you give it a twist and it locks.
Okay.
It's kind of self-explanatory on there. Probably same thing with this. Very nice and easy. Look
Oh,
at that.
nice. So it is easy.
It says it's 40 volts, max blower. All right, let's see. And up here, it looks like you got a turbo and a high-speed button, so I'm excited to check that out.
Ooh, nice.
Let's see what's we got in here. So it says its max is 140 miles per hour it blows. That's pretty good. All right.
So there's
this
a
looks like
battery.
One battery.
Yep.
And here's our indicator if it's fully charged, which it has 2 bars it looks like. Here's the charger.
Okay, let's stick that in and see what happens.
It looks like, yeah.
Goes in that way.
Plus, yep.
Okay. Woo!
Stick it right in there.
Okay.
Should we
Try it out?
Yep.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let's look at the old-fashioned way. This is my dad raking leaves. Rake those leaves, Dad. All right, now.
All right, let me see if I can help you this time.
Okay. I promise you we did not plan that. My dad just happened to be out here raking the leaves.
All right,
Okay.
well, I'm going to see if I can catch up to him.
Okay.
What do you guys think? Should we use high speed or turbo first?
I don't know.
All right, let's check out high speed.
Whoa. So that's high speed. Not bad.
That's going really good.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, now we're going to turbo.
Okay. Whoa.
There we go.
Hello.
Sounds really good. All right, look at that go. Yeah. You want to try? Don't blow me away.
So as you can see, this NASM cordless leaf blower is very powerful. It has 3 speeds, so it can handle anything from, just like a little bit of leaves off your front porch or a major job just like you saw. It has a 40 volt 4AH max lithium ion cordless blower and so many other amazing features. I'm going to have the link in my description box below where you can check out this leaf blower, and if you live somewhere where we're finally getting fall weather, you're probably gonna need one of these, so definitely make sure to check it out. They were also nice enough to leave us a discount code to use on their Amazon store, so just apply Ashley224 at checkout to receive 20% off. And I want to thank NASM for sponsoring this video. All right, let's get back to these DIYs. Now for my next DIY, I actually lost some footage here, but I started off with this 4-pack of mixing spoons from the Dollar Tree, and I simply just gave each of them several coats of that nutmeg apple barrel paint. After that was done and they were dry, I just simply went and drew different faces on each one of the spoons. Now, each one of the spoons are a different height, so it kind of looks like a family. So I kind of wanted to dress them up a little bit. So I tried to be creative and tried to make each one of them look a little different. So I have 2 boy spoons and 2 girl spoons. So on one of the boys, I gave him a little bow tie, just like at the bottom of the spoon part. And then around the other boy, I just simply tied a piece of ribbon around the little quote-unquote neck, and it made for a scarf. And you're going to see how simple this project is. And it literally only cost $1 as well. So I just gave this little boy a scarf. And that was super easy. And I just used ribbon that I already had in my stash. And then one of the girls got this really cute sparkly bow right on top of her head. And then the mom, I guess, I'm going to make her little earmuffs. So what I did was I cut down a piece of a pipe cleaner, and you can see I'm shaping it around a bottle to give it that round shape. And then I'm just going to hot glue each end to the side of the spoon, kind of where the ears would be, so to speak. And then I'm going to take these cute little green poof balls and I'm going to hot glue one of those onto each end of her earmuffs. I thought that this added such a cute little Christmassy, wintry touch. I mean, how adorable is that? So like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue one on each side. And of course, if you have earmuffs, you probably need a scarf too. So I just took another piece of ribbon and I just wrapped it around again. And I did wrap it around like kind of a different way than I did the other one, just to change it up a little bit. That was it. It was so simple. You can see how quick and easy it was for me to put these together, and look how cute. What do you think? For the next DIY, we're going to start off with this pack of foam gingerbread men, and I'm only going to use 2 for this. And of course, the first thing I have to do was draw faces on each one, and I'm going to make one a boy and one a girl. So you're going to see that the faces pretty much are going to look the same, but their accessories are going to make the difference. So I'm just drawing on the eyes, the little red nose, and then the smile. And you're going to see all my faces look the same because that's the only thing I know how to make. so you're going to see, you know, it's kind of the same thing going on here. But like I said, I am not a good freehand drawer, and I'm a visual person. So I saw a picture of this, so this is what I'm going with. So after I had all the faces drawn on, I'm just going to go through and I'm going to add some different cute little touches just to add some more detail to my gingerbread people. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to give the girl some eyelashes, some cute little eyelashes. And then I'm going to give the boy some buttons. And for this, I just used the green and red puffy paint. And I really loved using these little festive colors, obviously. I think it made it look very Christmassy. If that's a word, I'm not sure. And then after that, I just took my white puffy paint and I went through and added those little squigglies on the arms and the legs, and then of course around his head as well. Then I'm going to go through and I'm going to do the same thing on the girl gingerbread cookie. This is your friendly reminder that if you're loving what you see today, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Not only does it really help my channel to grow, but it also tells YouTube that you love what you see and you want to see more. So smash that like button. Alright, so now I'm just going to go through and I'm going to add those squiggly little touches to my girl gingerbread cookie here. Now the great thing about this is that pack of foam gingerbread men had several in it. So I have some left over that I can make other DIYs too. Then of course I got to add the twinkle in their eye. Now I'm going to go ahead and give my little girl some buttons. And I thought those buttons came out so cute. Now you know I have to do the paint dots. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to dip a very wild bristled brush into some white paint. Then I'm just going to use the back of my screwdriver to just hit it hard and get those paint dots on there. After that, I'm going to hot glue a little bow tie to my boy gingerbread cookie. And then I'm going to give my girl gingerbread a bow right on the top of her head. And I love the green. I think it's such a pretty green. All right, while those were drying, I am going to take a cooling rack that I bought from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take this baker's twine and hot glue the baker's twine to the little rungs, I guess, of the cooling rack. Now, I'm only doing the 2 ends and the 3 in the middle. I was going to go all the way around, but then once I kind of put it, or like kind of held it up to it, I decided that it was just a little too busy and too much. So I just decided just to do those 5 going up and down. Now, the method to doing this, because hot glue cools so quickly on metal, you want to do a couple dots at a time, put the twine down, and then keep moving, because it will dry quickly. Now, I don't know if this is honestly going to stay on because hot glue and metal typically don't mix. So I probably should have used some super glue, but only time will tell. So now I'm going to finish up by putting the baker's twine on this last one here. And then you can see that I'm bringing the ends back to the back of the cooling rack and gluing it down. Next, I'm going to take this joy ornament that I got from the Dollar Tree. And after removing the hanger, the greenery on the front, I'm going to take off this fabric. Now, I did not think that this fabric would be so tough to take off, but I'm going to show you how I did it. So first I went through and pulled off any chunks that I could with my fingers, just pulled it off. And then I took my hair dryer and kind of heated up the glue that's holding it on, and then I'm going to take my little scraper tool to scrape it off. So I kind of had to use like a variety of different methods to get this fabric off. Like I said, I just didn't think it was going to be that tough, but it was. But eventually I do get the majority of the fabric off, and then I went through and sanded it down. So now it's really smooth because we're going to paint it. So that really helped a lot. So I'm basically just sanding the rest of it off. So before we do paint this, I do want to cover those holes. So I'm just going to take that spackling and I'm going to fill in the holes, and then I'm going to sand it down once more. And now it is ready to paint. So I'm going to take my nutmeg acrylic paint once more, and I'm going to paint this entire thing, and I am going to give it several coats. I really wanted it to be completely covered. Now I am making sure to get all around the edges and like in the inside of the O and the Y. After that dried, I'm going to take my white puffy paint and I'm just going to make the little squiggly lines, highlighting each letter. So I'm going in the middle of each letter because I wanted to just make this look like a cookie, a gingerbread cookie. So next I'm going to go through and I'm just going to add little dots to the ends of the letters. And then one on the top of the O. Then I decided it needed just a little bit more color. So I'm going to take my red puffy paint and I'm basically just going to go over what I just did, but with the red. And I thought that that added the perfect amount of color. And then you know we have to add the paint dots. So I'm just going to go through and just add my dots. Next, I'm going to take that cooling rack and my 2 gingerbread people and the joy cookie. And that is exactly how I am going to attach, or how it's all laid out is how it's going to look. So all I'm going to do is just lift up some pieces and add hot glue and then just push it down. So like I said, I have it all laid out first, and then I'm just going to go through and glue all of the little hands down, the feet down, the head down. You can see I'm not going through the whole thing, but I'm just hitting little areas. Now for my joy, I wanted the O to be right over that middle little rung there. So I'm going to hot glue that down. Then I did add some hot glue underneath the J and the Y as well. Then because this was still wet, I just took my screwdriver, but you can take anything pointy and just push it down. I just didn't want to mess it up. All right, so now we're going to add a hanger. So I'm just going to take some red and white baker's twine, and I'm going to double it up. And then I'm just going to knot it through one end of my cooling rack. And I'm going to double knot it, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. Now, I don't like my hangers very long, so that's why you're going to see it's not very big. Then I'm also going to double knot this one as well. Now, I did feel like this hanger needed just one extra little touch of something, so I went ahead and hot glued some peppermints on each one. So I hot glued one to each. Now, these are real peppermints. I feel like they'd be okay to use. I did cover these with Mod Podge just so they will stay and just, I guess, keep just look like this. And I don't know, I didn't know if bugs were a factor. I'm not sure. Only time will tell. But I thought this came out so cute and it's so unique. But you tell me, what do you think? For this next DIY, I'm going to start off with this little box sign that I got from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to flip it over, pry out the hanger, and then of course I'm going to give this several coats of that nutmeg apple barrel paint. Now, I didn't even think to cover in those holes or to fill in those holes. You might want to do that. Totally up to you. But actually, I do end up covering it, so it probably doesn't even matter. Now, I did paint the sides of my little box as well. And like I said, I am giving this several coats. Next, I'm going to take this decal that I cut from my Cricut, and I did purchase this off of Etsy, this SVG file. I will have the link to the Etsy shop listed in my description box below. Now, I believe if you don't have a Cricut, you can still download this as an image, so you could even print it out, and you can use it just like that, just like as an actual image. So I am going ahead and I'm going to put this in my sign. And I love, of course, the contrast. Obviously, it looks like gingerbread. So I'm just going to carefully pull off my transfer paper. And look at that. Gingerbread kisses and Christmas wishes. I love that. So cute. All right. So after I have my decal on, I'm going to take this ornament that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I squealed when I saw these because how perfect are these for gingerbread theme. And I'm twisting out the little hook on the top, and my plan is to hot glue it to the side, but I just felt like the sign needed a little bit more detail. So obviously I'm going to take my white puffy paint and I'm just going to do those squiggly lines all the way around this box. Then I wanted to add in little touches of color, so I took my red puffy paint and I dotted the eyes. And now I'm going to take my white puffy paint, and on the gingerbread and Christmas, I'm going to add dots to the ends of every letter. And then I'm going to take my green puffy paint and I'm going to do the same thing on the kisses and wishes. And I thought that these little dots made this, oh my gosh, I thought that this brought it to life. It made such a big statement, in my opinion. All right, now it's time to hot glue our little gingerbread man to the side of the box, and this is complete. I love how this turned out. How cute is that? What do you think? This next one is a bonus DIY. This was actually in a video that I did a few weeks ago using my Waterslide transfer paper from Hippo. So to see the full tutorial, I will have that linked in my description box below. So definitely check it out, and I will also have a link to the water slides. But basically all you do is print off an image on the paper, you spray it with clear sealer 3 times, and then you put it in some lukewarm water, and you saw how easily it slid right onto my little soap dispensers. Then I added some baker's twine for a fun touch. These little soap and lotion dispensers are perfect for my gingerbread themed kitchen.
It's cold outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe, and I've gotten you a present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is falling down and the storm is on its way, but as long as you're around, everything will be okay. 'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you.
I thought that all of these cute little gingerbread DIYs were so fun to make, and it really had me step out of my box. Like I said earlier, I just really wanted to make some unique pieces that tied in the gingerbread factor and the kitchen factor, and I think I achieved that with all of this decor. You're gonna have to let me know down in the comments which one was your favorite piece. I think mine is a tie between the pizza pan, the baking spirits bright, and that hanging sign, and the gingerbread kisses and Christmas wishes. Ugh, I guess I just love them all. They're just all so cute, and I seriously cannot wait to put these in the kitchen. Now, I also want to know in the comments below, do you like the Decorate With Me videos? You know, a lot of my page is DIYs, but something that is so important to me is decorating. I absolutely love it. So I want to share some decorating inspiration with you, but let me know if that's something that you would want to see on this page. I have done it a few times and you seem to enjoy it, so I just want to make sure that I'm putting out content that you love. Also, I want to give a special thank you and shout out to NASM for sponsoring this video. Don't forget, I will have all of their information linked in my description box below. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't done so already, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so you're notified when I upload more DIYs. Also, please hit that like button because, like I said, it really helps my channel to grow. Well, until I see you again, I'll craft with you soon. Bye!